Riding the coattails of his idiot father David Gilliland, Tony Stewart's word not mine, Todd Gilliland was coming off an abysmal tenure at Kyle Busch Motorsports, getting one lone taste of victory lane in his 45th start in Truck Series equipment that can win every single race by 10 seconds. Kyle Busch's word not mine. They ain't running good, referring to Todd Gilliland and Harrison Burton. I can go out there and win every single race by 10 seconds and they're out here struggling along to finish 7th and 10th. That ain't gonna fly. One thing would fly though. Todd Gilliland after getting thrown out Uncle Phil style following the 2019 season. Fortunately, family ties would save a day's Gilliland following this massive career setback. David would get together with his friends at Front Row Motorsports to start up a brand new Truck Series team, his Christmas present for son Todd. This second chance would be headed up by Chris Lawson, who is not the sharpest tool in the shed when it comes to crew chiefs with just 19 races of experience. 12 of those races coming with fast pasta Anthony Alfredo, which churned out mediocre results out of that cheese grater. This dish was not fit for a NASCAR Olive Garden. But for a NASCAR Fazoli's like Front Row Motorsports, his experience could cook wonders for Front Row Motorsports in their inaugural Truck Series run. So as a startup team in trucks with razor-thin expectations to make the newly expanded truck postseason, Front Row Motorsports got off to a surprisingly decent start. Todd Gilliland scored 5 top 10s in the first 7 races of the season to put him 36 points up on cut-line driver Derek Kraus. Building a cushion early before the team would be battle-tested in a summer unlike anything we've seen since the 1970s. Kraus would cut that deficit to just 2 points following 3 finishes scored in the 20th position or worse. Front Row Motorsports would need to tame the beast by the name of Miles to continue on their quest towards the truck playoffs, conquering that concrete monster by finishing in the 4th position. The next week on a scorching hot summer morning in St. Louis, Todd Gilliland would have the best race of his NASCAR career to date. The Crosley Ford F-150 raced like a broken record. It won Stage 1, it won Stage 2 with that same verse.
The Furniture Row Motorsports contingent has won both stages.
And it ultimately led to him surpassing a career-high 75 laps led. The 38 on his side door was untouched all race long. It would be a shame if a guy like Sheldon Creed decided to mess that up.
Boy, a heartbreaker for Eckes. Battle for the lead, and now Gilliland is in the wall after Sheldon Creed doors him.
The contact ended Todd Gilliland's chances of victory, crossing the unsafer barriered front stretch for the 160th time scored in the 24th position. Gilliland, in his interview with FS1, wasn't mad at Creed's move, but rather disappointed to see that one slip away. We just had such a good truck to go, from 6th to 1st under green, and to win both stages. I felt like this was such a good day. It was one of the more dominant truck races I've ever ran. Despite disaster, Gilliland's 20 stage points earned would help him outpoint Derek Kraus by 8 points, helping him hang on as the playoff field was signed, sealed, and delivered in Richmond. The 17th place finish was nothing to get too hyped about, but for Todd Gilliland, he had finally qualified for the NASCAR Truck Series playoffs, appreciating the opportunity after flaming out twice with KBM. The last 2 years, I personally expected to make the playoffs, and I was expected to make the playoffs, and finally being able to do it and seeing the excitement of my team, we're a part of something that only 10 drivers are this year, and it just makes me appreciate a lot more. After flexing a bit over the competition at Gateway, many people had Todd Gilliland as the guy that could be the dark horse in the playoffs, believe it or not. That included defending NASCAR Truck Series champion Matt Crafton. Kid's got a lot of stuff, and he just needs, honestly, to get his head right. He's got the confidence rolling. He was really fast in St. Louis, Gateway, and St. Louis reminds me a lot of Phoenix. If Todd Gilliland can make it to Phoenix, he can definitely be one of those guys racing for the championship. The SMI swing, however, wouldn't help Gilliland get above the cut line as the number 9 seed, entering the Talladega cutoff race 19 points below the coveted 8th and final transfer spot. Todd Gilliland's best chance to keep his championship hopes alive was to capture that checkered flag, and his guys back at the Mooresville, North Carolina shop would give him a great shot to keep his season alive, having the Mustangs under the hood with a second place finish in Stage 2. a breed that would be overworked after just 47 laps on the autumn Alabama afternoon. Chris Lawson congratulated the team on a great season, as the 38 truck was pushed back to the garage, ending Todd Gilliland's championship hopes in the round of 10. The maiden voyage for both Gilliland and Front Row would end 4 races later with a 9th place finish in the final race, solidifying the driver a top 10 in the driver's standings and the Front Row team 12th in the owner's standings. With the NASCAR garage still reaping the effects of the COVID pandemic, the 2021 plans for Front Row Motorsports, they were on lockdown, strict lockdown until January 6th of that new year, stealing the headlines on that day by confirming that the Truck Series program, Todd Gilliland and Chris Lawson would all be back for another run, as well as the 2 Front Row Cup entries. Gilliland in the press release felt optimistic about the program and their chances in year 2. I'm thrilled to return to Front Row Motorsports next year. Bob has been great to drive for, and we've got a solid foundation to build up our program moving forward. Progression was the main theme of the Front Row Motorsports organization, with a first-hand example with their Cup program, as they had built for years, so therefore this team was expected to take a major step forward with their truck program. Even more so with ThorSport Racing deciding to switch to Toyota for the 2022 season. Front Row Motorsports would get a lot more OEM support from Ford, and they were expected to lead the Blue Oval right off the bat in the beaches of Daytona. Toyota dominance, followed by just 1 top 10 in the first 4 races of the season, would not do the trick, as Todd Gilliland and Front Row Motorsports looked to get Ford back on track and back to Truck Series victory lane in NASCAR's first ever race at the Circuit of the Americas course, fighting hard for the honor to make NASCAR history early with an impressive Stage 1 victory. An over-the-wall too soon penalty would relegate the black Crosley Ford F-150 to the back of the field, leading to an impressive drive up to 9th to end the second stage. A truck that was described as lacking just a bit of side bite would perform well in the final stage of the race. Todd Gilliland would methodically work past the trucks in front of him, taking the lead from Tyler Ankrum with 6 laps to go and never looking back.
Todd Gilliland wins the inaugural Camping World Truck Series race at Circuit of the Americas.
Todd Gilliland was a winner in the NASCAR Truck Series for the second time. Front Row Motorsports would win their second race of 2021 and their first as a truck team. Gilliland would praise the team's growth in his post-race interview. Last year, we didn't quite have the season we knew we could have, and just to come out here and win early, we've been building momentum, and for my team to get this win is just amazing. This win would light a fuse for the 38 group, stringing together 7 straight top 10 finishes to conclude the regular season and enter the postseason as the number 4 seed. Beginning their championship quest at a track of comfort for Todd Gilliland and the group of Front Row Motorsports guys, Gateway. From the 3rd starting position, Gilliland's aspirations to earn redemption for 2020 were high as a kite. Though when the Gateway leaderboard finally started working on lap 10, it indicated the 38 trucks struggle on the shorter runs. A power outage would give he and Lawson some time to debrief on some potential adjustments, but still, the truck remained in the eye of the storm, mid-pack, the most vulnerable position in NASCAR racing. The 38 team scrambled to make repairs to the squashed cherry red colored F-150, but a DVP was the only outcome for such a truck. Todd Gilliland finished 29th and slid down to the round of 10 playoff cut line. Darlington proved to be a bounce back race, nothing flashy, just a consistent 4th place finish to give Gilliland an 11th place cushion and some momentum entering the last great Coliseum. Also the last chance for both Smiths to dig out of their playoff hole. Todd Gilliland's Speedco F-150 for this race could be described in one word: steady. The truck wasn't too flashy, but had 2 solid stage finishes to be in the prime position to advance Todd Gilliland to the round of 8. Steady would work in most playoff races, but Bristol, a track that's a petri dish for cautions, not so much. Chandler Smith won his way into the round of 8, while Zane Smith advanced single-handedly off of his performance on that Thursday night. Todd Gilliland, when the smoke cleared, was below the cut line. This ended his chance at the championship in the round of 10. His season, in the words of Todd Gilliland himself, was a different story. We're not done yet. We have Las Vegas next week and we can win an owner's championship and race for wins. We're not going to give up. A dominant performance at Las Vegas would signal just that, leading a race by 66 laps in the race's second stage. The speedy Speedco F-150 was at it again, on the cusp of win number 2 on the year and a secure spot in the Owners' Championship battle in Phoenix. Carson Osavar stopped the celebration, leading to a restart where Gilliland would get absolutely railroaded by the Thor Sport freight train on the race's final restart. Despite the loss, Gilliland had a lot of fun in the Sin City. In fact, the most ever. It was the most fun I've had racing in the truck series. We just had a great truck. Talladega would once again see the Speedco Ford F-150 flex some muscle, herding the pack of trucks behind him for 35 of the final 36 laps. The one that he didn't lead, I'm sure you can guess it was the one that mattered. Losing it coming off of turn 4, Tate Fogelman, meanwhile, of all people, would get the win by wrecking John Hunter Nemechek before the start-finish line. This would leave the Martinsville Paperclip as the track to decide the 38 team's fate in the Owners' Championship. Todd Gilliland had a speedy Speedco F-150 yet again. Absolutely nobody could touch him in the first 2 stages and was able to foil Zane Smith's Hail Mary by pulling away on fresher tires. You already know how this one ends. Martinsville, another petri dish for cautions, allows both Smith and Stuart Friesen to try to desperately keep their championship hopes alive. The latter straight up dumping the Speedco truck on the final lap. I'm beginning to think this livery has a future in the cursed NASCAR Paint Series. I digress. The 38 trucks' efforts in the round of 8 were enough to clinch a spot into the Owners' Championship 4 alongside the GMS 21, the Thor Sport 99, and the dominant KBM number 4. Todd Gilliland had the chance to deliver Front Row Motorsports their first NASCAR championship with a win or by outrunning the other 3 foes. It's really hard to make passes in the trucks at Phoenix, so having a good qualifying run is definitely going to be a key to success. Todd Gilliland and Front Row Motorsports took that to heart, pacing the lone practice before the race and timing in 3rd during qualifying. This would not be enough to take home the silver prize. Todd Gilliland ended the season like he started, chasing the Toyota Tundras, ending the race 8th and clinching the 38 truck a 4th place finish in the owners' standings. As for Gilliland himself, his poor finishes at Gateway and Martinsville left him 7th in the final driver standings. That's not a question, but regardless, that was one of the many areas the second generation racer improved on in his second year at FRM. Todd Gilliland grew so much as a driver in his 2 years racing for the Front Row Motorsports truck team. It sucks he isn't going to get a chance to build on his playoff speed and potentially dominate the truck series in 2022, as he will graduate to greater things in the NASCAR Cup Series. His ride there being the result of this 180 in performance. So anyways, this is Nathan for NRF Productions signing out, and just remember guys and gals, life's a beach and then you drive.